recording.
Oh.
Do you guys hear her say that? That's amazing. I love her. She's so efficient. All right, welcome to Monday night. I'm so excited because Alicia is back and Kristen is here. I haven't seen Alicia. I don't think I've seen you on a call in so long. You got eaten alive by working and children and school.
Yes, the pandemic has slowly killed us in this house. I'm slowly coming back to life.
You're
I just
alive.
texted Kristen. I'm like, get on the call. We need motivation. Let's go.
Yes, and I love how a lot of us are outside right now.
Yes, it's so nice out.
Yes, I love it. Awesome. Okay, well, welcome to the call. So tonight we are going to chit chat a little bit. I asked in the Goal Getters what people would like to talk about. Since I've been coaching for so long, I feel like sometimes I don't know what to talk about because you know how you don't want to repeat yourself and you think like, oh, people have heard this, but then there's people that need to hear it because they haven't been around that long, or sometimes we receive things differently at different times in our lives, right? So I asked, and the things that people wanted to hear were two things. One was sharing versus selling, how to feel like you're not selling. Okay. And the other was overcoming objections. So I feel like the first one and the second one go together so awesome, because all it really comes down to is confidence and belief in yourself and what you're doing. Like that's why I wrote down for tonight's call confidence in success, because overcoming objections so often, and I'll get text messages. I always want to talk about Haley. I'm always like, Haley. But I'll get messages from Haley or Tasha or really almost anybody. And they'll say, this person, this is what's going on. Like, what would you say to this? And it's, we get so distracted sometimes in our minds when, if it was this jacket right here, and Alicia said, I love your jacket. Where'd you get it? And I said, Honey Athletica, I think it was like $30. Any objection that she had, if she was like, oh, I don't know if I can spend $30 on myself, I'd be like, listen, it's worth it. Go do it. It's amazing. I wear it like 5 times a week. I would think nothing of that. But because I'm getting some kickback with Beachbody, because it's my business, I suddenly decide that I feel like I'm selling, when it's really no different than what we do every day. Green Chef, I just talked about that like twice today. I get nothing for that. I love it so much though. I have no problem being like, look at this. This is amazing. Like, and it's not different. But if I got something back for that, I guarantee I'd have a little bit of a mindset shift. And so what that all comes down to is just remembering, and this is a really quick touch on selling versus, and like how to not feel like you're selling. And, if you are consistently doing a program, if you're consistently getting results of some sort, whether it's in your mindset, whether it's in your body, your soul, then you're always sharing and you're never selling. But if you're not getting results, then it's always going to feel like selling. So I have a few coaches in mind that in the past have always struggled, and they're no longer coaches, a couple girls that I'm thinking of. They're not coaches anymore. They're not active, at least. And they always struggled with this topic. They always struggled with the fact that they just couldn't get over that they felt like they were selling. Well, let me tell you that I couldn't get over the fact that I've said this, and I'm not being mean, but like they never got results. They couldn't get their nutrition in to get the results they wanted. So it was always going to feel like selling if they never had anything authentic to share. Right? If I just showed you a picture of this online and said you should get it, it's a completely different feeling than when I have it on and I can tell you it's so soft and warm and it fits just right. I'm sharing my results of how this is in my life. Like, you guys, it's like I literally feel like I'm like a koala bear. I don't even know. But you know what I mean? Like, it's so comfortable. Like, I can share that with you. When I can share that experience with you, I'm not selling. But when I send you a link, or I've never even touched it, but I'm like, yeah, you should get it. It looks cute. Well, we're kind of like throwing darts in the dark now. There's like, no, we're just throwing it out there, right? So if you ever feel like you're selling, I want you to shut it down and ask yourself, where have I not had results lately? Do I have a transformation? Because how many of you, and I have very much so fallen into this trap multiple times in the last 8 years, and I'm sure Amanda has as well. How many of you are sharing your transformation from 2 years ago or a year ago? I remember I got results with the 21-day fix after having when I first started coaching. And then, like a couple years in, I got pregnant with Oliver. And so, for like 4 years, I was sharing that same transformation photo. People aren't stupid. You know what I'm saying? And so it felt like selling. I had nothing new to share. It felt empty. I felt lost. But the minute I could do a refresh, I could do a week of Sean week. There are quick ways that you guys can have a testimonial. And remember, a lot of people actually relate to short, small celebratory wins over the big ones because they're not as scary to jump into. 2 pounds is easier to lose than 100, right? Getting your cost back in your business is easier than leaving with a full-time income. So those small wins are so much more powerful than we think. Buying our groceries with our money that we earned from Beachbody, right? So when you have something to share, you're never going to sell. And if you feel like you're selling, then my dog is Karma, come here. Karma. She just took a nail out of the fence with her 90-pound body. Karma, come here. Oh dear. When you feel like you're selling, it's not the business, it's not the products, it's not the training, it's you don't have anything new to share. So that's on you. Do you need to try a new product, which we're going to talk about a little bit later with Tasha? Do you need to do a refresh? Do you need to do what's really hard? Do you need to do what you're expecting other people to do to get your next result? Right? Because I have so many people that come to me and they want to break a plateau. Well, I know that them breaking the plateau is going to be go down to have wine once or twice a week, opposed to 5, and ditch that nighttime chocolate. Have it. Tasha's like, you bitch. Don't you say that to me. But is like have the nighttime chocolate on weekends opposed to during the week too, right? That will make a huge compound effect over time. But if I'm not willing to do that same thing to get results, then am I going to be able to properly share it with others? We have to show that we're willing to do some hard things sometimes, and that's what it's about. But so that's the main thing. If you feel like you're selling in any area of this, then how can you dive in and share? For instance, if you've noticed, I haven't talked at all ever about the Bevy focused energy. Never. Because I've never tried it. I didn't order it yet. I'm going to. But if I did that, I'd feel like I'm selling. I have nothing to share about it except for it's on my website and I think it sounds awesome and I want to try it. I could say that. That will be a sale. But once I get it, I can share and everything changes. Okay. So really just keep your mind on that as far as that goes. The next piece, overcoming objections, is, oh my goodness, it's one of my favorites. If you guys don't know me, I actually love overcoming objections. I made a whole worksheet on it. It's in the United Collaboration and in the Goal Getters. I did a whole presentation for Coach Camp for Christina at it a couple years ago. I think I have the whole presentation on YouTube. I can actually share the YouTube. But at the end of the day, in my spiritual journey, what I've learned is that overcoming objections is really nothing more than honoring where the other person is at, knowing that letting them know that you hear them, and then encouraging them that they can still do it. I think so often we're like, oh, they said they go to the gym. What should I say now? If they love the gym, it is not our business to convince them to fall in love with something that they don't need. But we have so much more than we remember. And I've talked about it with a few of you this week. We often forget as coaches because we love to do what we are rewarded for. So Success Club is rewarded, incentivized, rank growth, things like that. So we want to do what we're getting incentivized for, right? So often, I just totally lost my train of thought because I'm scared my dog's gonna push the fence down at this lady. She totally is. Karma, come here. Oh my gosh. It's like the Sandlot back here. I'm not joking. Um, so, oh, what was I saying? Incentivized. Can somebody tell me what I was just saying?
Instead of just
Well,
Success Club.
What was it?
Instead of just Success Club, what else can they share?
Yes, thank you. We often have our mind on that. So we get in a conversation with someone and we are challenge pack, we are discount coach, we are a year of Beachbody on demand. They say they're happy with it. We think any objection they give to us for that, we need to somehow make the grass seem greener on the other side and help them come here, which we know it's wonderful. And that's great because we love it. We want to share that, and that's good. But so often we forget that sometimes bevy focused energy, or bevy in general, or the greens boost, or the digestive boost, or the bars, or energize alone, or hydrate for someone who likes wine a lot. I've heard it's great for hangovers. Is going to change their life in the way they need it. And now guess who they trust more? And now guess that so often, and Amanda and I have learned this a lot through the last few years, we forget that Success Club does help you. It's measurable and it's a no matter what for me. Every single month, I'm going to hit Success Club no matter what. I'll incentivize to do what I need to do, whatever it is. But Success Club doesn't pay my bills. Volume does. Every bevy matters. Every energize matters. Every bar matters. And guess what those bevies and energize and bars turn into? A connection, a trust. Enter our community, do your gym workouts in our accountability group while using your energize. Come see what we're about. They start seeing Shakeology in there. They start seeing Hydrate in there. They're going to ask more questions. Maybe it turns into something in the future. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it turns into referrals, right? But I think so often, and especially my mind, and I'm talking from experience, I used to think like, ooh, an objection. I get to try to talk them into seeing my side now and why this might be better for them than what they're doing. But it's okay, I want to honor where they're at, hear what they're loving, see what they're missing, and fill in the gap. And if I can dip a toe in, that's a win. And even if I just make a new connection, that's a win. When you listen to somebody, it makes a huge difference. So I do want to dive a little bit into objections, however. And one of the biggest things that I love about objections is the ability to, objections are great because until you get the objection, you kind of don't have permission to ask more questions. You give them the invite, they say, I just don't think I'm interested right now. And that gives you the ability to say, can I, you know what? I'd love to have you. Can I put you on the list for next month? Are you in another program right now? Have you ever done anything like this before? And it gives you the ability to learn a little bit about them. Whereas before, asking those questions may have felt prying if you hadn't already invited them. They're probably like, what are you getting at? You know what I'm saying? Where an objection kind of opens the door for you to learn about them. They already said no, so there's no pressure either. It's really just listening to them and seeing what you can offer them. And one of my favorite things about objections is that often those objections, our next 3-day refresh rolls around and I'm like, hey, I know you're happy at the gym and you're totally killing it there. I don't know about you, but I've hit a plateau this summer, or 4th of July is coming up and I am feeling like that bathing suit isn't going to be feeling too great on me. I don't know if you're interested in this, but we're doing a 3-day whole food cleanse. Or do you want to hear what it's about? I know you're happy at the gym. It has nothing to do with that. It's more just like a 3-day nutrition boost. I had 3 people who I'm still in conversations with, I got to get them carts tonight, that have told me no for years on groups. They're happy at the gym. They're happy with what they're doing. And literally there's 3 people right now. One that's a past coach. I don't know who her other coach used to be. Another that's a random girl. Another that is a girl that Rob went to high school with. I met her at his reunion like a year and a half ago. And all of them now, and they've said no to me multiple times, are like, because of the gym, and they love their classes and whatever. The 3-day refresh was something, but I would have never known it was for them had I not allowed that objection to make me curious about what they are lacking, what they are missing, what they do need. So often we get scared of the objection. Like, you guys, I can't even tell you how long it would like, I used to send the invite, and then when I saw an answer came through, I was scared to open the message. Like, I would procrastinate, because if it's yes, well, I want to be able to like deliver the information correctly. And if it's no, then what am I going to say? Like, how, and it's like, now I just get excited because no matter what, I get to learn about them. And I know that at some point, if not today, I'm going to serve them or continue to try. And the better I know them, the more apt they are to join me later. Right. So with objections, I always do say, though, I also love to be the person to ask hard questions. So after I learn all about them, before I close the conversation, I always make sure I close the conversation. I don't like to keep people like in feeling like there's this conversation going back and forth that needs to be done, right? I'll be like, hey, listen, I got to run, but I just want to tell you, thanks for sharing all this information with me today. I totally, and you guys, this is not new. Feel, felt, found. It's not new, but we forget it all the time. I totally understand how you feel. Like I said earlier, I felt that same way before. I used to go to the gym all the time and whatever, but what I've found is this lifestyle and this community, there's just something about it that lights me on fire and makes me commit to myself more than I ever have in my life. So in any way that I can share with you, I'm happy to. If you don't mind, I'll put you on my list for a couple months from now. I'll reach out. And if you have any friends that you think this would serve, please don't hesitate to send them my way. So I've learned about them. I've listened to them. I've honored where they are, right? There's a connection. Don't keep it too long. Try to keep it short and sweet. Now what do I want to say? Empathized with them? Is that the word I'm looking for? I understand how you feel, right? So feel, I've felt that way too, relating. They're related to them. I understand how you feel. I've felt that way too. What I've found, it gives me the opportunity to once again just share what I've found, though, and then ask, can I reach out to you in a few months to see if this is still working for you? And if you have any friends that you think would fit into what I just described to you, please send them my way. I've asked for referrals. No matter what, it's gonna, you know what I mean? It's just a good way to wrap up the conversation. And there are a lot of times I do get referrals from people and they don't join me too. There's one girl who has just been in my accountability groups for a long time. You guys might know her, Laura Peters. She's like so good with nutrition. She's never purchased a single thing. She finally got Beachbody on demand because she just had DVDs for a while. She loves it, but she refers people to me all the time, but she has no desire to do anything else. And I'm cool with that. I honor her where she is. And it still all comes back around, right? Whether in any form that it is. She's also like a really great person. I love just being connected to her in general. So objections, I understand how you feel. I've felt that way too. This is what I've found. Can I add you on a list to reach back out to you in the holiday season? Or when this, like you kind of think like you don't want to be like next month if they just told you they're happy where they're at. But in a few months, can I put you on the list for October? I think we're going to have a fun like Halloween countdown. Can I reach out to you then? Don't close that door. Don't just let the door close by saying, okay, well, thanks for the response. Yeah. Sometimes I still do that when I'm like just in it with the kids, and then later I'll come back and be like, sorry, that was so short. I totally get where you are. I just was wondering, are you in a current program or what is it, just out of curiosity, what is it that doesn't appeal to you at this moment? And they might say, oh, the home fitness just isn't my thing. I'm like, oh, I totally get it. Do you take classes at the gym? Right? the focus is not on me and what I can give them. The focus is now on them and what they love and why they're happy where they are. But in that, I can find the gaps. Because a lot of times people too will be like, oh, I love the gym and I do love the classes. It's just I have to go late at night and sometimes I'm so tired. Oh, do you take a pre-workout? It's like game changer. No, actually, I don't take a pre-workout. Oh, now we can start, I have this great one. I'll send you a video of it if you're interested. We can get you hooked up with it. Sometimes I send out samples, but it's also like, it's a really great deal. There's a bottom of the, what would you call it? Tub guarantee, whatever it is. So being vulnerable in those first few objections you get to move the conversation forward when we come from a very, all of us, everybody comes from a place, like we all have trauma. And yes, I'm going there with this. We all have trauma. Rejection is trauma for a lot of people. No one likes to be rejected. No one likes to feel rejected. So rejection can be big as far as relationships or family members, or even like parents that we deeply wanted a connection with and we couldn't have. Rejection comes in all forms. And sometimes we don't realize, like, our fear of objections and pushing them further could come from our fear of rejection. We don't want to be rejected. We don't want to feel what we're feeling, that we just like shut it down. So sometimes that vulnerability to kind of take that conversation and ask those questions can be really hard in the beginning, in those first conversations. And if that's the case, I know Amanda's comfortable with them. I'm comfortable with them. We haven't always been, but we worked through it. Feel free to screenshot it, send it to me, her, anyone, and say, this is what was said. This is what I want to say. How does this sound? Or how would you word this? Because that's really what it's about. So as far as overcoming objections, Tasha, I know that was one that you had kind of touched on and asked on. Is there a specific question that you had about that?
No, not, I think you touched on a lot of it. It's just like knowing, like, a lot of people are like, I already have something that's working for me, or I already go to the gym. And I'm like, okay, thanks for letting me know. Like, you're always welcome in my groups. Like, I have a good close, but I don't have a good, like, prompt to keep the conversation going, and some people are just straight up like, no,
Like,
and I'm like,
bread.
yeah.
2 pieces of bread and you're missing that middle part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just like, here's the start. They're like, no. And I'm like, okay, have a great day. Not really like that, but pretty much.
Right.
So that helped a lot with the feel, felt, found. And then, yeah, like not wanting, it's not really rejection that bothers me. It's feeling like I'm a bother to other people. Like, okay, they already told me no. And here I am like, oh, well, why not? What is it that you do? Like, I just feel like if someone's in my inbox offering me something, like if somebody's like, hey, you should totally try this face wash. I'm like, no, thanks, got my own. And then they're like, well, what do you use? I'm gonna be like, back off. Like, but that could totally just be me. And that's what I'm putting on other people. Like, I'm sure there's some people that would feel like that. And I'm sure there's some people that wouldn't. But for me, I don't think it's rejection. I think it's just feeling like I'm going to bother people by continuing the conversation after they've said they're not interested.
And some people you might bother, but you can't get to the people that you won't bother if you don't bother a few along the way. Like that's how it's going to happen. And here's what I've
found. I guess they could just, oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, here's what I've found too. When I'm super excited and I act like they are so awesome, they're not bothered. If they're like, oh, actually, I'm already doing a program. I had this girl, she keeps following me. She comments on my stuff all the time. She comments on all my stories. Her name's Sarah. And the other day I was like, okay, you watch all my stuff. You comment on all my stuff. Like, I just feel like you need to be in the next group with me. She's like, oh, I'm already doing a program. So for me, and she was a little short, to be honest, which was funny that you say that. So for me, it's like, I could be like, oh, okay. And if I am like, well, what program are you doing? now I would feel like, oh, maybe I'm feeling bothersome. But what I've found is like when I say like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. So many people, actually, a lot of people struggle with finding something they're happy with. What are you doing, if you don't mind me asking? I just gave her a confidence boost. A lot of people don't find something that they love, and you have. This is awesome. What is it? Like, and then she'll be like, oh, she didn't actually answer me yet, or I haven't been in my inbox yet. One of the two. Both are. Actually, I answered last night during the tornado. Ooh, it was scary. But so I don't remember what she said, but let's just say that she says like, oh, I remember she did answer last night. She said she's working not in a group, but one-on-one with someone. And I said, that's amazing. Is this like in person? Is it virtually? Like, I didn't know if a lot of people are doing in person these days. That's awesome. I'm still like just excited for her. Like, and I just, in between telling her how awesome it is, I'm asking another question. And that's why I say like with this, you kind of have to ask just a couple questions and learn a little and then close it. Because if you ask a lot of questions, you're probably for sure going to bother everybody. Right. But it's like if you can just have that excitement of like, even like, oh, I go to, or like, let's see, like with the refresh, and the girl, I asked somebody when she's like, oh, I'm really actually on point with nutrition. I just want to tell you that in 8 years, I think I've only ever heard that 2 other times. So that's amazing. What are you doing? Like, maybe I should be taking tips from you. When you can like just authentically be like, that's pretty freaking cool. What are you doing? Because to be honest with you, that's not a lie. Not many people are happy with their nutrition. Not many people are happy with their fitness. Not many people are happy with their time management. Not, they're struggling in those areas. So really like that confidence. Yes. And what did Danielle just say? Give them the opportunity. I feel most people love talking about themselves. Yes, they do. So I like to try to think of like, if I can ask 3 questions right now, what 3 questions are going to give me the most information that I can know, like, oh, maybe they'll be good for this in the future, So it's situational. But like one thing, and I was talking to Haley about this recently, is that in Facebook Messenger, it is not a phone call and it is not a text message. Once you read it, you don't have to feel obligated to answer it right away. When someone responds, you don't have to feel obligated to read it right away. It is not a let's have this conversation. It's a when it's convenient for both of us, we will get back and forth with each other. I feel like that's just how it is in social media. So you can take the time to think of what the next question is, and you don't have to come back real quick. And when you come back, you can say, sorry, life is kind of crazy right now, or like, sorry, it took like, actually, I just told Tasha this earlier. Don't apologize. I'm working on not apologizing. Instead, I thank people. Hey, thanks for your patience. I do probably apologize. Like, sorry that it didn't mean for that to take me so long. Thank you so much for being patient with me. Thank you so much for waiting. I got distracted. Thank you for, whatever. Thanks for holding space for me, whatever. There's all that. But people really like that too, when you're not apologizing, because when you're apologizing, it helps people trigger, oh, she's not reliable, or there's something that was wrong. And when you just say, hey, thank you for your being patient, mom life, whatever, you keep it short, people, instead, you're showing gratitude. So there's a positivity piece in there. Yeah. So were you going to say something else, Tasha? I feel like you were. No? Okay. Does anyone else have any questions or anything to say on overcoming objections? Yes.
So I've been getting a lot of, I'm really busy this week. Or maybe I will say, like, next week might be better, but they'll say, like, I'm really busy, or like they'll ask for some more information. And so, like, I might send them a couple of videos of like specifics that they're asking for. And then I'll say, like, hey, here's this. I'll check back in tonight. So I do give them like a time. I'll give them like a few hours, and then I'll check in and I'll ask them, what did you like best about the video? And then they'll be like, oh, I haven't had time, but I should be able to squeeze it in our busy, Father's Day weekend. And then, so then I say like, that I actually didn't reply until today. I said, I was like, thank you, I appreciate it. I look forward to hearing from you. And then like still today, they never like came back to me. So when I get the busy thing, how do you check back in without kind of that whole like not feeling like you're bothering them?
I let people off the hook. I message them and I say, hey, you are so busy. And I can see that and feel that just in our interaction. I'm going to let you off the hook right now. I know this is important to you. And when you're ready, I want to be here for you. But I feel like I'm going to check back in with you in a couple weeks and see if maybe things have slowed down there a little bit. When you let them off the hook, they all, then they don't have to be like, oh, I don't want to open the message because I have to tell her again I haven't watched it. And you can just kind of let them off. And then also sometimes I find that when I say that, they're like, no, I really wanted to watch it. Hold on. It's 5 minutes. I'll watch it right now. So that's what I would do. I would really,
Saying, oh, I don't have the money right now. So then I usually get that after they've watched something or thought about it.
and then with that, I'm always like, that's cool. I said, I rarely have money for anything, but I always have money for what really matters to me. I'll like say a hard comment like that, or like not like something to make you think, or like ask a hard question. So if they say I don't really have money right now, I might say, you know what, I totally understand how you feel with that. I felt that same way. And what I did was I actually budgeted $20 out of the groceries, or I did this. I put $20 aside like for the 3 weeks so that I could invest towards this. And that's really what helped me. So, maybe if you want to try that, or a lot of times, and I heard this in a training, I don't even remember when, but it's helped me so much, is that a lot of times when people give you the objection, it's not so much that that's really the reason they just can't think of right now in this moment with you how to work around that. So you giving them an idea sometimes is helpful. So like, oh, I just really don't have the money for anything right now. I just said yesterday to somebody, I'm like, I totally understand how you feel. COVID has been so crazy for so many people. And I know you're not alone in that, and I've kind of felt that way here and there recently too, with everything that's going on in my life. But I will tell you that it makes such a difference to feel good about yourself. And I just can't put a price tag on that. We're all worth taking care of ourselves. And so I know that you would love this. And I know that when you're ready, it's going to be like, I'm going to make sure that it's worth every penny for you. And people are like, oh, let me talk to my husband, or maybe I'll put it on a credit card, or, it's my birthday next week and I am getting some money, or, like a lot of times, because my objection was money. I don't know if you know that, but we were living paycheck to paycheck. I was pregnant and I was like, I don't have the money. It was a Turbo Fire challenge pack with Shakeology. It was $180. I was like, I don't have the money. But once I watched the video, like every 10 minutes, I felt like this wall kind of came down. And at the end of it, I had the money. I didn't want to spend the money, but I had it when I saw the opportunity and like I felt believed in, So sometimes it's just like offering another idea, but in a way that's wrapped with like so when you're ready, maybe this solution will work for you. Not saying you have to do that right now, you know? Sometimes I'll use like Carly's. I'm like, you know what? I totally understand how you feel. I have a friend that actually felt the same way, but she wanted so much to just enough was enough. She wanted to feel better that she sold three pairs of her shoes on eBay to buy the challenge pack and enroll as a coach. Carly did that. And they're like, oh, you know what? I do have some stuff to sell. Maybe they don't say that. Maybe they do. But you're offering them something outside the box, because so many times people are stuck in there. So, feel free, like when you get those objections or whatever, like I said, just like bounce the ideas off of in the coach group, in the goal getters to me. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to respond, but Amanda, Alicia, there's a lot of different, anybody, even just off of each other, even off of a brand new coach, even off of your husband. Sometimes they can tell you that feels okay or not. You know, sometimes it's just like saying it to someone else. I never liked bouncing ideas off of Rob though, because Rob actually is super passionate about Beachbody too, and he is a talker. So I'll ask a question and then he has all these suggestions and I'll go on and for 10 minutes I'm like, listen, I just needed your answer. So beware there. It might cause some triggers at the same time. Okay, cool. Did that help, Haley? Yeah. Okay. So just a couple things I wanted to say really quick, and then Tasha's going to close out the call for us. Is I was kind of thinking of like confidence and success and where that comes from. And I just wrote down earlier when I was thinking about it that confidence in your success, it actually comes from your belief and excitement in the whole thing. So many times we're focused on like what it takes to be successful or what other people interpret as success. Like if I don't make a certain income, my significant other is not going to think I'm successful. But what is success to you versus what is success to them? Like with my family, when I quit doing hair, they are not going to think I'm successful because I didn't go to school for this. What they're going to be like, what are you doing? Like you went to school and education and you've done all of this stuff to do what you're doing, and you're just, they don't see success in that. But what is success to you? That is what matters, and that is what you have to own, not what success is based on what anyone else's opinion of success is for themselves. Our opinion of success often too comes from what we've been told success is our whole life. So I want you to challenge yourself too to, is what you're telling yourself what you truly believe success is, or is that what you've been conditioned to learn, conditioned to feel? It was so hard for me when I was a hairstylist and I wasn't an educator anymore. And I don't mean this bad in any way. Hairstylists, you guys, it's just as much work and knowledge. And I mean, it's coordination and so artistic and creative and communication skills. And it's math with color and mixing. And there's so many things in there. But when I went from being an educator at Aveda and doing hair at a salon to working at the salon, and I was educating there for our interns as well. But for some reason, I remember being like, I just do hair now. And Rob was like, what are you minimizing yourself for? What do you mean you just do hair? And I'm like, well, because I went to school and then I was an educator. And then he's like, but what is, so you're not, you know, like, he didn't say successful because that's what we're talking about now, but I get what he meant now. That was like my trauma. My trauma taught me that success is you go to school, you get a certificate for this. This is where you're successful. And if you backtrack from that, that's not success. Where guess what? I freaking loved doing hair and being behind the thing and not having to teach all day long. I loved teaching while it served me, and then I loved not. And then when I walked away and I was a coach, I had and Amanda and I went through this too. We were like, we're Beachbody coaches. Is that enough? You know, and it's like, yes, it's enough because it's fucking changed every aspect of my life. And this is successful to me, being home with my kids, having the freedom to travel whenever I want, not having to pay attention. I mean, I do a little bit now because of my situation, but like, you know, not checking my bank account before I buy gas or whatever. So what is success to you? And yes, you have to talk about it with your spouse, but your spouse is not you, and you are not your spouse. Your spouse's trauma, your parents' trauma, your brothers and sisters, your best friends' stuff that they have been conditioned to learn as what is successful or not. Just strip it down and like, what is it to you? Not what is it to the people watching you on social media? What is it to you? What do we have to do to have you feel successful in this? And that's really where your focus is, right? So, and then I said, confidence comes from doing programs and completing them, but your way. I can't tell you how proud Natasha was to finish a program that she only worked out 3 or 4 days a week. And it took her an extra couple weeks or something to finish the program, but she did it. You know, it was like, she did it her way. That confidence came from doing it and making it fit into how it fits. So what do you have to do to make this work for you your way? It comes from, what was that? Sharing more of everything, all the little things, not just the this is the box that we need to fit in. We can come in all different shapes and sizes and in all different ways. Personal development is a big one. We all know that. Getting uncomfortable. And then the biggest one though, you guys, is confidence in this business is going to strictly come from confidence yourself in the products and in your transformation. Because in that, you have the confidence to talk about them more. You have the confidence to share about them more. You have the confidence to talk about objections and walk through with people more. The more action you take for yourself and through inviting and just doing that. So many times we think like, I just ended the month with Success Club 5. I really didn't do much this month. But how many conversations did you have? How many connections did you make? How many posts did you make that probably touched so many lives that you don't even know about? So success doesn't just come in that number, right? It comes in so many other ways. And those results for you are the biggest ones. So follow what feels good. Do the programs that feel good. I will tell you 645 is coming out and I'm doing the sneak peek for the entire team and customers on July 1st. Even if you're not planning on doing this program, leaning into a launch is a really, really great way. And I'm sure they're going to have like a coach incentive and everything to build your business and to like get your rank back and get your momentum back and start that confidence again and feeling good and having those conversations. So sharing minimizes selling. So sharing those results you're getting. And that is all that I have. Do we have any questions, comments on any of that? No? Okay. Now Tasha's going to talk to us a little bit about community. I think it was something on community and we talked about like product ideas that we had. So Tasha.
Hello, can you hear me? I put my earbuds in, so. Hi guys. So yeah, I was talking to Lindsay earlier this week and we were just talking about what success looks like. And for me, I'm like, well, for me, it's Success Club, and she said something that really helped me. And she talked a little bit on this call about how sometimes it's okay just to get people's foot in the door. Like, yeah, challenge pack, an annual subscription for BOD is great. And like, that's what I'm shooting for. She's like, it doesn't have to be a challenge pack or nothing. She's like, you can get people's foot in the door with, a product, and then they could be they're going to be seen more since they're in the groups then, and then that can get them open to more, and they could potentially turn into a challenge pack, like not to stop just because someone doesn't want to have a challenge pack or an annual subscription with BOD. So, and I mean, that's really the point of it all, right? Like, I'm not here being a coach just to help people with a year subscription of BOD or just to help them with a challenge pack. Like, I'm here to help people in whatever it is that they need. Do they need help with energy? Do they need, energized? Do they need help with cravings? Can they benefit from bevy? Like, you have no idea how that could benefit from somebody and then snowball into more for them. So, it's an opportunity for growth to talk about more products, like Lindsay was saying. And we were talking about the focused energy bevy. Neither of us have that. I've tried it because my mom has it, but I don't have it on hand. And we thought, wouldn't it be cool if us as a community promote one product every month? So we're talking about it, you're talking about it, I can share you talking about it. It's not just me that people are hearing this from. So we thought for July, we'll do focused energy bevy and just kind of have a little something, every week or a couple times a week in our stories to promote that product, to highlight that product, and then if you guys are going to share with it too, tag everybody in it. We can share it on our stories as well, because that's really what it comes down to at the end of the day. When people see you love it and then they're seeing other people love it, it's going to get them curious about it and they're going to want to talk to you about it. And that's getting their little toe in the door. And that's what we want. And somebody might really need that. Just like I said, somebody might just need energized. Somebody just might need bevy, but we won't know until their little toe or their little foot is in the door. So that's what we're doing for July. Let us know in the comments if you think a product highlight is something that you jump in on, like Lindsay and I are all in. If you're in, let us know. We want to get that going. We want to do something every month. Not sure what it will be after July, but for July, it's for sure focused energy. Bevy, let's do it. I'm getting back with intermittent fasting, so I need craving support. I kind of fell off the wagon. So I'm super excited for that and for us all to go in on it together as a community because you know how much I love our community. And for me, that's the only reason I'm here. Like, that's the only reason I signed up with Lindsay, who I'd been watching for 8 years and then just committed like 6 months ago because I was just finally seeing how much this community bands together. So yes, let us know if you're in for that. We thought that that would be really fun for all of us to do and just a great way for all of us to try all that there is out there. Like Lindsay said, she hasn't even tried it yet, and it's just a way for us to try new things. Who hasn't tried hydrate yet? Like, I love hydrate because I drink too much wine. I know it's for I know it's for workouts. It does help for workouts as well, but it really helps me when I need to hydrate after the wine. But that's what I share on my story because that's me and that's authentic to me. So, stuff like that. We're going to work on that with the focused energy bevy next month. And then from a community standpoint, we've been doing so well. I know the last time I was on here, I talked to you guys about just tagging each other in more on our stories and in our posts on Instagram or Facebook outside of exercise, just to help show this, like, the whole community aspect, our total health solution, that it's not just fitness and nutrition, it's meditation, it's personal development, it's the support from the community. So I've loved that. Like, I love being tagged in all your posts. I might not always share them to my story. If I have like 20 things on my story in a day, I'm like, oh, darn it. I'll share that. I'll share something tomorrow. Like, there's days I focus on community more than others, but it's always great to have those tags in waiting. Like, if I'm like, oh, like, everyone is on their workouts today. Like, let me just share 4 people besides myself working out today. Like, it helps for other people to see that. So I'm glad we've been doing that. I would love us to keep going with that. And Danielle or Danny, I don't know what you prefer to go by. She is putting together a great community reel this month. That's like a body positive mom reel where we're all in our bikinis showing off our bods with our kids. And I did not get my video to you today. So are you still accepting? If not, it's okay. Oh wait, you said you forgot about that. Whoops. Okay, well, maybe can I send it to you tomorrow, or can people still send it to? Okay, good. I will be getting that to you tomorrow then, because I think even with the Energize reel that we did last month, like, it just really helps for people to see us all together as a community. They love seeing our energy, and I thought that was a big hit. So maybe we can do something like that every month. That would be great. And then, so my focus for this next month, I really want to get back into us doing the birthday chick dances for people's birthday. So I think we originally stopped because Triller got rid of the song, but it's back. It's back on Triller. I checked. Birthday Chick by Trap Beckham, which I'd never heard of before, before seeing all you guys in Beachbody do your little, like, birthday dances to it. But that was one of the things that made me so interested in this community, or maybe not interested in the community, but just like seeing everybody before I was a part of Beachbody have fun together and like show up for people on their birthdays. And my birthday's in a couple weeks, so I might be selfishly bringing this forward right now, or maybe that's why it's on my mind. But like, I would love to get back to that, because I think when it's your birthday and you can share everybody who's like showing up just for you in their workout and in your dances, it's just something that's really cool for outside people to see. So that's my focus for the coming month, and hopefully in the future, and just continuing with what we already have going, because I have said it before and I'll say it again. community is the key, I feel like, for everyone, because there are free workouts everywhere, and there's a lot of companies with great clean products now, and there's the gyms that are open back up again, but they're not going to get the support that not always anyways, that they can get here in this community, in the total health focus that we have. That's not just exercise, that's not just nutrition, like we are here for each other in so many ways. And I just think showing that and sharing that with people and getting them like, who are those people? I want them to be my friends too. Like I just feel like that is what a lot of people are missing in their lives right now, especially with everything that's gone on in the last year. So that's why I'm so passionate about it. And that's why I'm always trying to think of ideas. So hopefully you guys like those. And let me see what the comments say.
And then what did you decide real quick about how we're going to know when everyone's birthday is? Are we going to do like a June, like a post in the goal getters, like everyone if your birthday's in June, drop it below, or how are we going to know? You're muted.
I don't know how that happened. I must have clicked it. However works best for you. Since it's your group, I don't know if that's like one post at the beginning of the month, like here's everybody's birthdays, or if that's kind of hard for you to like, you probably just don't have a list of everybody's birthdays. So yeah, maybe it's just a post at the beginning of the month, whose birthday is coming up this month, who, like we'd like to do the birthday videos, and then maybe like a weekly reminder or something, which I would be happy to, remind people weekly for whose birthdays are coming up. I could do it in the group and I could do it in the chat once we have that list. But yeah, whatever works, whatever's easiest.
I can have Jessica post at the beginning of because she'll put the calendar in and whatever. I can have her add another thing that says, if your birthday's this month, drop the date below.
Yeah.
And then she's doing weekly, like, this is what you need to know things, and it tells the call. So she can also just like in the bottom corner put this week's birthdays, Monday, or however she wants to do that.
Okay.
And then I can have her post it both in the thread or the goal getters, but I think everyone should just be paying attention to the goal getters too. Like we shouldn't have to chase back and forth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe
hard though, because I feel like
it's
a lot of
lost.
times switches off your notifications for groups. So I know I've turned on all notifications for the goal getters, and like somehow I'll still miss posts, and I'll go back in and my notifications have switched again. So it's like, I do agree, because I
Or maybe
think,
it's yeah, sorry.
no, go ahead.
I was gonna say maybe she just jumps in the thread and says, everyone go check out the beginning of the month posts in the announcements. Like it can just be something as simple as that instead of like doing, right? Because that little reminder, you're right. Even people will ask questions, and I have all notifications on for the group. People will ask questions like 2 days later. I'm like, oh, I never even saw this. So that's true.
Oh no, you think the bevy tastes like crayon? I'm just reading the comments real quick.
When I first tried Bevy, I actually didn't like it either, the first one. And then after I tried it again, I like played with the amount of water, and now I love it.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It just tastes funny to me. I haven't tried the lemon though. I've only had the pomegranate, but yeah.
But what is
have you tried the focused energy, the new one?
That one?
Yeah, I was so excited to try it too, but yeah, I didn't quite like it. And I tried it like mixed with Energize, which probably wasn't a good idea caffeine wise, but yeah.
Then Dad was running around her house listening to Nelly cleaning. Supposed to be working out, but
well, yeah, like Lindsay said in there too, like even if you don't love it, if you can highlight it even a couple times throughout the month, if you've tried it or you've thought anything good from it, that might, oh no, I'm lost my earbud. That might help too. But that's all I have. Thank you.
Yay. Okay. And then what was the other thing? Oh, so that's one thing so how we will kind of know what the product of the month is next is Tasha said that she can kind of take on going live like the week or something the week before or doing a post on it the week before in the goal getters and kind of saying like the product of the month for next month will be this, and maybe giving like a couple touch points or even just putting the YouTube from in there, to talk about it. And then the cool thing is that that is also a way that we can then like give people opportunities. Like if Haley's like, I want to kind of lean in more and do more, then Tasha can say, oh, why don't you introduce and pick the product of the month for next year or next month then? So it is something that we can kind of like, have other people do. What I want to tell you, and Amanda can attest to this, you guys, is that when you get a bunch of people excited about one product, no matter how big or small, every month, and they talk about it a lot, and then they talk about it in their challenge groups and their team buys. So like, Danielle, you don't like it, so if you didn't do it, that'd be okay, but you should still talk about it with your team and say, this is what everyone's doing if you guys want to do this with them, because the amount of volume that you get from a widespread group of people that are doing the same thing, and then that trickles into sales because so many people are talking about it, it really has the potential to really boost your paycheck. So I think that's it. Amanda, did you have anything you wanted to say? No? You're so quiet tonight. You just got your booty kicked, huh? Or did you kick?
Yeah, I just got home from, I was in the car for 7 hours, so got home and had to do a workout.
7 hours, that's a long time.
Yeah.
Okay, well, good. Let's take a picture. This was great. Thanks, Tasha. I was just having a vision while you were telling us all that of you on the national wake-up call. Her heart just stopped. I don't know why.
That's the dream, right? That's the dream.
Right. I was just like, you're just so
But
powerful.
hello, it's Monday.
And then you're like,
no, I probably wouldn't. I would love it. You never know. One
you
day.
jump on and you just talk like it's like here, it's like there's this confidence about how you talk and share and natural and easy to talk to. And it just like popped in my mind. So, what happens when
foreshadowing.
Right.
When it happens, I'll give you a shout out.
All right. You'd be like, Lindsay, we talked about this day. All right. Boomerang.
10 years ago.
1, 2, 3. Yay. All right, guys.
Look how dark it is. I need to go in.
I was just looking at how dark it is at your place, but not ours. We'll get there though. All right. I love you guys. Thanks for showing up today and every day. You're doing great, right? We're doing great. Love you. Bye.